Now I'm recording session. Okay. So, I guess for the recording, I will be going again, just a quick outlook. So again, we're going to discuss stress management. This is our summary that we will be discussing in detail, of course. I won't go through that again. The definition of stress as it is stated here. And we will be now tackling stress symptoms and effects. So day-to-day stress is normal. It is normal, but it is essential to spot when stress levels are too high and way too often sometimes. So better awareness can be helpful, and it includes watching out the following physical indicators that are manifesting themselves in our bodies. So we have the typical tense or painful muscles. It can be experienced in our shoulders, in the back, in the chest, the stomach, the head, a tension headache, which I have very often myself. We can also spot on some heart and blood pressure alterations, such as an increase of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. It is putting us through the flight or fight mode that we all know about. And this mode can impact our heart rate and our blood pressure. Now, we have also on a different level, which is the sexual health and the well-being health of ourselves. It can manifest itself in lowered sex drive, in an impotence in men, and it can also appear as irregular periods in women, which is also very frequent. We can also see and assess and feel and experience digestive issues. So it can include nausea, it can include vomiting, diarrhea, and constipation. And oftentimes before our exams, we can have some incontinence and some nausea. It's very frequent among students and even workers who have a meeting, who have something important. Okay, so I'm going to add a little more stress symptoms. It can include also fatigue. It can include anger, the monster anxiety, which I am so also guilty of. Not guilty. I'm going to correct that, which I am prone to experiencing. And we have headaches. We have trouble concentrating on our daily tasks, on our studying, etc. We can experience some apathy. We can't actually do the tasks we have to do. Teeth grinding, which for dentists is the nightmare. Let me tell you, it's a nightmare, and it's very troubling to see. You can also see skin conditions like rashes, etc. And we've talked about the rest, like decreased sex drive, stomach problems, and the rest. So I myself I am experiencing stress throughout this presentation. So just so you know, guys, it's completely normal. So indeed, whether a single event or ongoing, stress can result in several thinking traps. What are the thinking traps that we can actually fall into? It can be jumping to conclusions, like very unhelpful or unfounded conclusions. We're just judging around and it's not very proof-based. There can be some tunnel vision, which is going to limit our ability to problem solve correctly and move forward. We can also go into catastrophizing, chaos mode, which is going to maximize the negatives and minimize the positives. We can blame upon others, and even it can be upon ourselves, and it can be internal assignment of blame. There is also overgeneralizing, which is applying minor setbacks that are into a specific event. We're going to generalize everything, and we're going to apply it to everything around us, which will be problematic, of course. And we have unhelpful emotional reasoning, which is becoming more upset than the situation is suggesting. And this will leave us anxious and overwhelmed. So how can we assess stress levels? It's very important, and the tactics are very diverse, and I think they cover most of the symptoms, if you want, the effects of stress on our bodies. So while stress in diminutive doses may not cause direct harm, constant pressure and tension can wreck our physical, emotional, and psychological well-being. So there are many technologies and techniques which are biofeedback techniques, and we will get into later, that permit assessing stress levels, like resting heart rate, for example. It is taken at a rested state, sorry, and it's going to depict individual fitness as well as bodily changes due to stressful situations. So our heart is going to react to the stress we're experiencing. We have also the heart rate variability, which is going to evaluate the shifts in time between the heartbeats. And the pattern shifts underline the impact of stress on the autonomic nervous systems. So it will also be an indicator. We have adrenal assessment. We will take samples of blood and urine, and we can measure the stress hormone levels inside of them, for example, cortisol and adrenaline, which were previously cited. We also have the brain waves and EEG techniques, which are very used in medicine, and of course can be used in stress management and in stress assessing, if you want the stress level. And it is oftentimes associated with we're going to note the brain's functional activities, and we will be exploiting specific stress markers. Breathing assessment, which is, I think, one of the most important, because we all manifest some changes in our breathing due to stress. Because stress is oftentimes associated with overbreathing or faster breathing rhythms, so breathing assessment is a very useful tool. And also sleep tracking. High stress levels can modify the quality and quantity of our sleep, of course, and we've all experienced that. And certain monitors can evaluate that through specific trackers. So moving on. Are stress-induced reactions normal? To that, I guess deep inside we know it's normal, but we still blame ourselves. We still go through the guilt tripping, and it's all towards our own being. Why am I so stressed? Why am I reacting this way? Why is my body, just like now, doing that? I am confident, but I am also stressed. So we're going to discuss different topics. We're going to start with the personal matters, which is proper to each one of us, each individual, of course. So stress signifies we're human. Yes, it does. And it acts as a primary motivator to work and accomplish certain objectives and goals, which is why I am going to go easy on stress, because it is helping us to accomplish many things. So even high stress from diverse illnesses, we have work and job losses, which are very frequent, especially in Lebanon, sudden death of a loved one, which is a huge grief process and cycle, and is very stressful. And we have life adversities. All of these can, of course, deeply disturb individuals. So as creatures of habit, we extremely value stability. We sometimes do not know how much we crave stability and how much we want stability, because stability is giving us the usual, the routine, and everything is prepared, everything is organized. We're not going through random stuff being thrown at us, and we don't know how to manage them. So being yielded out of our comfort zone isn't a favorable thing to us. Of course, it's not, and it will never be. But just like most of the comfort zone is actually growing, and we can grow without going out of that. In the comfort zone, there is no growth at all. So Moving on to national and international issues, we have so much to talk about. The globe is on fire. There isn't a single country in, I don't know, this universe even, that's actually not suffering some kind of consequences or some kind of issues. I mean, it's a global thing. So, a Lebanese story, the the saddest of topics. We have the economic crisis as Lebanese people. The Lebanese pound has lost a big part of its value, and people's savings have been robbed. We can definitely that. As not being able to withdraw any of our money, or the banks being a little bit harsh on us, and the situation is chaotic. We're struggling to make ends meet, and this is going to cause stress, and it's going to manifest itself on our parents, our siblings, on us, uh, having to pay the tuition fees, everything. It's definitely a stressful cycle. We also have a lack of basic human needs. Unfortunately, we can find bread a day, and the second day we can find it. Um, the simplest of things, really, and filling up gas in our cars is a long and strenuous process. The power cuts, the water resources are scarce, so it's a huge bubble of chaos, to say the least. International problems. So we have the coronavirus outbreak, which is still fresh, and we can say, I guess, I know it's over, but it's still there, and the sequels are there for sure. So there are many. The corona aftermath is punchy. So the world being plunged into a huge pandemic for almost 3 years, that caused so many losses on different levels. First, the death of loved ones. The health of the population was deeply affected, post-infection syndromes, etc. We have economical because and jobs were put on hold, which caused financial distress. So all of that goes hand in hand, and the quarantine and isolation and people being on their guard, not being able to communicate live with each other. So all of that is coming and is falling into place, and we're sitting there and we're like, what's happening? Seriously, I guess we've all been through that, especially through Corona. No, it was so unexpected, and we were like, seriously, we don't know what's happening. So moving on from Corona, because this is still a stressful subject, we're gonna discuss also wars and crimes. Russia and Ukraine have been playing حرب, I have to say it. So this has also led to lots of tension and lots of crisis in many other countries, because Ukraine or Russia even are a source for many things for the world, and it is also putting extra stress, especially on Lebanon. So big conflicts, arms, I don't know, many things that are also external to us, and this is causing us uh, lots of tension and anxiety. So stress management is for certainly not. Certainly not. It's not for wimps, whatever age, whatever race. I don't know. Even animals, they should stress manage. That's on my part. So how can we manage stress? And I hope by actually going over with the techniques with you guys, I can be a little so effective stress management techniques. We hope they're effective, and yes, they are effective if we choose to make them plausible, and we to give them their value. First of all, keep a positive attitude. And this isn't it's just a coping mechanism or a stress management technique. It's an attitude that will actually help in doing the rest. So it's like the base of everything, being positive and being hopeful. We have to accept that there are events that we can't control, and this is something that's very normal. And we are floating through life. Yes, we manage what's coming our way, but we are also suffering externally, and this will never change because life is very unexpected. We have to assert our feelings, our opinions, our beliefs instead of becoming angry, defensive, or passive. I know it's hard. I know we want to be angry sometimes, defensive sometimes, or passive even. It can happen. It's healthy to be that, but we also have to lower these, lower the frequency of all of that so we don't plunge into the stress cycle and our health can be affected, and this isn't what we want to have. We have to make time for our hobbies and interests, and the hobbies, I mean, they're life-saving. I can talk about it myself from experience. I wouldn't be alive without my hobbies, without the things I enjoy most. Putting music in my ears and I don't know, drawing, writing. It's a pleasure, and these small pleasures are, believe it or not, they're stress management techniques. So do not plunge into that. We shouldn't. We do, but we shouldn't rely on alcohol, drugs, or compulsive behaviors or smoking to decompress, as they stress our bodies even more. Trust me, they are stressing our bodies, and we don't know that, or at least we know that, but we want the instant relief. But we have to think that everything that's instant in life is going to have some repercussions later on, and sometimes the repercussions are even harder and harsher than the initial stress or anxiety we've been feeling. And something that is necessary, I don't know how I'm gonna, I should have put it extra super bold. We have to set boundaries, and we have to say no to requests that create excessive tension. We have to say no. Focus on the no. I'm not saying go by people and be like before they open their mouth. No, no, it's not like that. But we seriously have to put boundaries and healthy boundaries so we keep our sanity. This is something that's very important, and I'm not saying I'm doing it. I'm doing it partially, but I'm trying to work on that, and I know we're all trying. We should be. It's not something that's progress isn't, it's ups and downs. It's never linear. We have to manage our time more effectively, and that can be done through journaling, through going by and making schedules, reminders, and using these little tips and tricks for time management. It can be very effective in reducing the stress we can feel before something that's very important to us. And finally, we should seek treatment with a mental health professional trained in stress management, or even seek out social support and spend enough time with our loved ones. And we should do that simultaneously. We should do both. We have to rely on a support system, but the support system can't always get us what a professional can actually do. Professionals are more experienced in the field. They can give us useful tools, advices, and of course, our social support coming from the social support coming from our friends or families, and everything is going to back up. Everything is going to motivate us through the process that the mental health professional has put us through, and it will be complementing each other. Okay, so we're gonna discuss heavier subjects now, which are more, I'm gonna say, concrete examples of how to manage stress. So eating, and drinking, which is the biggest pleasure for me at least, we should be eating and drinking to optimize our health. We have to consume a healthy, balanced diet that can put us through many benefits that are going to extend beyond our waistline, and it's going to go to better mental health. So a healthy diet can lessen the effects of stress. It can build up our immune system. It can level our mood, level up, and it can lower our blood pressure, which is something that's very important and that has been cited in the biofeedback techniques to assess stress levels. So to stay healthy and in an even keel, we look for complex carbs, lean proteins, fatty acids found in fish, meat, eggs, nuts, etc. And we can also rely on antioxidants because they help a lot. And they can protect our cells against damage that chronic stress can cause. So we can find them in a huge variety of foods like beans, fruits, berries, vegetables, spices such as ginger for the sushi lovers. We can also find them in bigger pleasures like coffee, which is my pleasure. And here I want to say something, and it's very heartbreaking actually, that in this specific case, we shouldn't go for antioxidants in coffee or tea because we should reduce our caffeine consumptions because they have stress worsening effect. You're going to tell me caffeine is not actually caffeine, as coffee is my only happiness. I agree, it is mine too, but we have to put some limits to this kind of rush or this kind of happiness. And at school, at whatever you are, carry healthy snacks with you when you leave the house. It's not necessarily protein bars or I don't know what, fitness or Kellogg's or all everything that's coming in. It can be I don't know. I like raw vegetables with a side of hummus or something actually very refreshing. And yes, it's better and it's lighter, and you will feel better after going through that. Trust me. We should stay away from processed foods, and we should try to not eat in a mindless manner because after that will be the stress of oh my god, I ate so much, and it will go on and on and on. I want to end the food and drink section with some pinpointed nutrients that scientists have proven they lessen the effects of stress on the body and the mind. Enough of these, and it will be actually balancing out your diet. So we have vitamin C, which is ascorbic acid, that can be found in citruses like oranges, kiwi, grapefruit, lemons, bell peppers and salads, tomatoes, vegetables like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, or cauliflower, and even white potatoes. So after the vitamin C comes hand in hand the magnesium. We oftentimes take magnesium to lower our stress levels, and it's taken as a supplement. We can also take it in a natural way through almonds, peanuts, cashews, beans, beef, poultry. So there's a huge list, bananas, raisins, and dark chocolate. We know that, and we love that. So dark chocolate is a good afternoon snack if you want to, and it will give you the pleasure, and it can also diminish the stress levels. And finally, we have omega-3 fatty acids in fish and other seafoods, nuts, seeds, flax seeds, chia seeds, in the bowls we do, the oatmeal bowls and things, the healthy things I like to do too. And vegetables. Sometimes some types of vegetables like spinach or algae like nori and seaweed that are found in sushi. So now we're going to move on to the second most interesting section and the second most important section, uh, which is related to exercise and sports. So in addition to having physical health benefits, exercise has been shown to be a powerful stress reliever. Running, swimming, dancing, aerobic exercises, yoga. Yoga is very good because it's slow movements plus stretching and deep breathing at the same time, so it's very effective. All of these have been shown to release endorphins. So these natural substances that help us feel better, they can aid in maintaining a positive attitude, they can block pain, improve sleep, and sedate us. Here I want to also discuss a little bit sleep improvement. Sleep improvement is very important because it means that our body and our mind, especially the brain, is being renewed. So this will aid us and this will help us in managing stress in a better way. Now, I know that our schedules are full. Uh, we're very um, short on time. Myself, at least, it's going quickly, and we don't have time always to exercise. So we can find ways in our everyday life to do that. For example, we can use the stairs instead of the elevator, or even we can park a little bit far, so we just walk to our destination. We can hand wash our car, clean the house. Our parents will be thrilled by that. And we can even walk on our lunch breaks, or any type of movement is good. So just moving our bodies around and not being stagnant or sitting for a long period of time. Now, tackling tobacco and nicotine products. People who use nicotine often refer to it as a stress reliever. And this is something that has been believed. I understand that because in the moment, it is some kind of stress reliever. But nicotine actually places more stress on our body by increasing physical arousal and reducing blood flow and breathing. So it is actually doing the opposite. And if it's prolonged and body it will not help, and it makes balance it out and think of it twice before doing it. Now, there is also relaxation techniques that we can take the time to relax every day, and this will help managing our stress and protect our body from the effects of this tension. We can choose from a variety of techniques such as deep breathing, guided imagery, progressive muscle relaxation, and mindfulness meditation. So I'm going to go over a couple of them. Deep breathing, I will describe it right now. Guided imagery is actually closing our eyes and focusing on a very peaceful environment, a very peaceful place. I mean, picturing yourself on the beach, in the plane, and a very peaceful, with very peaceful surroundings, and this will actually calm our bodies in a certain attack mode. Progressive muscle relaxation is going over every muscle in our bodies, and we're gonna relax them one by one. And for the deep breathing exercises, how is it made and how is it done? Deep breathing creates a state of deep rest that can change how our bodies respond to this tension. So it is going to send more oxygen to our brain, and it is going to calm the part of our nervous system that handles our ability to relax. And by doing so, it is going to help in relieving stress. So what we have to do is, first of all, we get comfortable. Close our eyes. We place one hand on our stomach and the other hand on our chest. Taking a deep breath through our nose, we are going to feel that our belly is rising more than our chest. And this is an indicator of deep breathing, because the normal breathing, the chest is going to rise. The belly isn't going to rise. But by taking a deeper breath, the belly will be filled by air. And this is how we know that we took a very deep breath for the technique. We're going to exhale through our nose, and we will be paying close attention to how our body relaxes while doing so. And we have to repeat that for about 3, 4, 5 minutes. It's something that's personal, but for this exercise to work, we have to do it for a short period of time. It's not instant. The results aren't instant. Okay, there is also laugh therapy. So laugh therapy is very simple, and it's very pleasing, I may say, because when we laugh, we're taking more oxygen. So it's as simple as that. Our heart, lungs, muscles, everything in us will get a boost, and our bodies will release feel-good hormones. So laughter, it's going to improve the stress management. Our immune system is going to lessen pain. It's going to uplift us and our mood for long periods of time, and it will do also much more of that. It's very interesting, and it's very simple to apply. Okay, so moving on, we have to reduce stress triggers. If you're like most people and your life may be filled with too many demands and too little time, for the most part, these demands are the ones, yes, we did choose that, but we can also work on freeing up more time by practicing time management skills, like asking for help when it's appropriate, setting priorities, pacing ourselves, and reserving time to take care of our own beings. Yes, it's beautiful doing many things at the same time. We also fall into that very frequently, but we also need to put like a small reminder in our heads that it's okay to not go fully crazy on everything. Always. I mean, okay, it's for a short period of time in the exams period. Okay, we can go a little bit crazy studying and managing everything and going into many things all at once. But don't forget that it will have repercussions on the body, and we will be tired, and we are prone to burn out after that if it's going to stay in a very consistent manner. What we can do to reduce stress also is meditation. It can lower the stress and anxiety levels. So practicing it regularly can get rid of chronic pain. It can improve sleep. It can improve energy levels, mood, everything. And to meditate, it's very similar to the breathing method. We just have to find a quiet place. We have to get comfortable by sitting or lying down. And again, getting comfortable is the main star. I'm being comfortable in the environment you're in. You can't be practicing stress management techniques in an environment where you feel you're not safe, where it's not calm. We have to be somewhere where we feel at ease. It's very crucial. It won't work if it's not in a very comfortable setting. So we have to focus our attention on a single word, phrase, object, or we can even focus on our breath. And this is meditation, just focusing on something. And then we let our thoughts come and go, and we don't judge them, because we are very critical creatures, and we tend to judge everything that goes through our mind. Everything we think of, we start being critical of it. We start being too harsh, I mean, and this is something we fall into very quickly and very easily. So by meditating, by being not non-judgmental on ourselves and our thoughts, we can combat stress and even insomnia. And insomnia is the bigger monster. I mean, if I'm going to classify between stress and insomnia, I think that insomnia is worse, because sleep is so vital to our bodies that being able to get our hours of sleep, it's definitely, and we will go downhill from there. So I'm going to give small tips for better sleep, and this is something that's well known actually, and this isn't something that's going to shouldn't look at our electronics 30 to 60 minutes prior to sleeping. So it's very important. We seriously have to stop. We have to wind down. There's multiple applications on the cell phone. We have reminders everywhere. We have to wind down. We have to put down everything before we sleep, sitting in a calm environment in our bed, just thinking, doing some meditation, doing some mindfulness. And this is going to promote good sleeping. We can also modify our rooms to make them a little bit darker, quieter, cooler, and we have to have also a supportive and comfortable mattress, of course. So this goes hand in hand. Now, some stress management tactics. We have the part where we have to examine our values and live by them. And this is something that's very crucial, because the more our actions reflect our beliefs, the better we will feel. And no matter how busy our life is, this will remain constant. So we have to use our values when choosing our activities. And if we're not going by our values, it will cause a problem, of course. So nothing affects our stress levels like the voice inside our head. The good news is we are in control of that voice inside of our head. So it's not something that's too complicated. Yes, sometimes we're in autopilot mode. Yes, sometimes we struggle to go against what we're feeling we want to do, or a certain situation is very, I mean, we can't just go by and say, okay, I'm going to do this like that. And it's a little bit troubling, I'm going to say. But at the end of the day, yes, we do have the choice. So we can exchange negative thoughts for positive ones. And this is something that's very important. Again, keep a positive attitude. It's going, it's resurfacing here because really being positive is a huge soldier in the combat against stress. Positive self-talk, it will reduce stress, and it will include living a longer life, lower levels of depression, greater resistance to many diseases like the common cold, cardiovascular disease, and we will also the positive talk will also help us in developing better coping skills for heart right right here. Okay, so moving on, we have to assert ourselves, and it's okay to say no to demands that are going to deplete us from energy, from time, and that will place too much stress on us. So we don't always have to meet the expectations of others, and this is why we have to put boundaries. We have to be mindful, and we have to consider ourselves. I'm not saying being fully selfish is the answer. No, it's not being selfish. Putting limits that are good for us, but are also respecting other people and their needs and their own beings is also crucial. So we have to find a balance between these two. how can we respond to people directly if there's certain conflict, if there's something that's going to impact our stress levels? We can manage our responses with these tips. For example, we can try not to overcommit ourselves. So not overcommitting means we're committing, but we're not doing it overly. So this is something that will be certainly not harmful for us. We can also share the responsibility of something with other people, and this will lessen the pressure it is putting on us. We can count to 10 before responding to someone that's trying to engender any conflict with us. And we can walk away from a heated situation. We just simply walk away and we do not entertain it. So this is something that's very easy and it can be done and it doesn't cost anything. And I encourage you to do that yourself. Setting realistic goals and expectations. So it's also okay and healthy to realize we can't be 100% successful at everything all at once. It's very normal and it's not something that's weird or that's shameful or anything. We have to be mindful of the things we can't control and we can't control. And we have to work on accepting the things that um, are out of our hands. Continuing this specific idea, we can say that we have to sell ourselves to ourselves. Because when we're feeling overwhelmed, to remind of what we do well, we have to acknowledge the achievements, we have to acknowledge the small wins we go by every day that go unnoticed. So we have to remind ourselves of that. And there are ways we can build a healthy sense of self-esteem, and this is something we can work on with a professional, or we can even do that by being surrounded by the people we love, and their support is going to make us feel loved, make us feel esteemed, and everything. Finally, I'm going to conclude the stress management techniques with the biofeedback concept. So biofeedback was previously cited in the presentation through the assessment of stress levels. And these biofeedback techniques like resting heart rate variability, breathing assessment, adrenal assessment, everything with it can help us learn stress reduction skills by providing information about muscle tension, heart rate, and other vital signs as we are attempting to relax. So this is going to help us gain control over certain bodily functions. And these bodily functions that are oftentimes causing tension or physical pain, they can be actually managed, and this will reduce stress automatically. So biofeedback is aiding in better coping. After finishing the stress management techniques, I want to say before going to the take-home messages that of course there are multiple stress management techniques everywhere. The web is full of that. Going to a health professional, it's not the same. Like, the web isn't the same as going to a health professional, but there are many scientific articles or things we can read. Yes, there are many stress management techniques, but it doesn't mean that stress is being managed in a better way. So managing stress in a better way is more about the person and not the techniques that they are creating. It's not about how many, but it is coming from within, and I feel like it should be implemented at a very early age in children, by helping them and not pressuring them in a harmful way. Of course, pressure is something that will help us grow, but in a healthy way and in a manageable way. So the take-home messages: stress is a more than normal body reaction to internal and external factors. Stress symptoms may include physical, emotional, and mental manifestations. Stress levels can be evaluated with many biofeedback techniques that we've cited before. Stress management includes following a healthy diet, engaging in physical activities, practicing mindfulness, and asserting our feelings and thoughts. Don't forget to create boundaries in parallel with seeking social support and care from your family and friends. And last but not least, you are not alone in all this. You are definitely not alone in all this. I can't stress enough this idea, but seriously, we're all in this together. And we've got your back as uh, um, as a LAMSA organization or even a society. Okay, so I would like to thank you guys for attending the webinar. The LAMSA team is actually thanking you. And I'd like also to thank in return many of the people that I am surrounded by. I have a huge support system, and I have to admit that this support system is my biggest stress management technique. So thank you, everyone, really. Thank you, Dr. Mkarsdel. I know you are working undercover and you are doing an amazing job. Thank you for gathering us all for this noble mission that is LAMSA. We are trying to go by our lives in a normal way, even in abnormal times. And this is something that's heartwarming, even though it is hard in these days. So thank you, everyone. And I'd like to say cheers to good mental health and stress management. Now, I had a couple of on a survey I had sent on the web, and I'm going to tackle these questions. So I was asked, what about mindfulness? Mindfulness is the basic human ability to be fully aware and present of where we are and what we're doing. And this way, we're not being overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. So this is mindfulness. Mindfulness is a very powerful stress management tool. It's going hand in hand in the meditation technique I've cited before. So being focused on a single object, a single subject, and shifting our focus from the thing that is stressing us and the thing that is really putting tension on our minds and our bodies. So we're shifting that focus to something that is uh, 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 appeasing, that's pleasant, and also being mindful at the same time by not being overwhelmed by the feelings we're experiencing. So we can calmly acknowledge and accept the thoughts and bodily sensations that are going through us. The second question was how can we apply stress management techniques in our everyday life? So this is very important. Again, it's something that's related to the person, of course. So I can implement stress management techniques in a different manner than you can implement it. It can be, of course, it can be introduced in. We can put like a protocol or something like a small plan to implement it, and everyone is going to apply it at the same time. But I know that it's not very effective because each one of us is actually different, and we are managing stress in a different manner, even though we're all applying the stress management techniques. We're all applying the same techniques. So I'd say I would personally say that we can decide to apply a certain technique for a week, for example. So I'm gonna go by this is okay, this is a normal weekend for me. Monday morning, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna go like oh my god, I have a very stressful week ahead, and I can put my mind in a certain I can put it in a certain let's say trance, or I can influence myself actually to every time I'm going to feel the stress throughout the week, I'm going to apply this technique. For example, deep breathing. I'm going to apply deep breathing every time I feel like I have muscle tension or something else. So this is me. I'm not forcing the technique upon myself, but I am also um, trying to implement it in a very tenacious way. I'm going to say tenacious. It's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it is being um, stubborn on managing our stress. So deciding on doing stress management techniques is the first couple of weeks I'm using just so they get in my head, and then I can go by and apply them when it is needed. So this is it for the questions on the survey. I don't know if you guys have any other questions. I'm all ears, and I hope that you guys like the presentation. So if you have questions, you can write them down in the comments section, and we will be getting by. We will be getting back to them.
Thank you, Muriel. Great work.
Questions. I hope you guys don't forget. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the support. It was perfect. I have feeling that it wasn't perfect, but again, uh, the presentation is management that I've been through. I have an amazing. Forget to follow on Instagram. ما بعمل دعاية بس there are interesting topics coming. Very, don't forget the Friday also very interesting, very educational. Uh, see you soon in a new webinar. If you want to start, you can buy to your